Hey guys, it's goyangi here, and today let's talk about emotions and what overwhelming devils they are. That is when we do become succumbed to feels. And for those of you who didn't know, feelings is one of the least developed cognitive functions when it comes to being an INTJ. Of course though, it gets better when you become older because you understand how to utilize it better. Anyways, in general, we INTJs don't really show our emotions. I remember in one of my blogs, I wrote that even if I've just witnessed a traumatic event or if I watched the most inspirational video ever, my face would probably just look like this. Yeah. And most of the time, we don't even react appropriately to emotional situations. For example, if someone was to cry in front of me, I'll just feel hella awkward. I don't know what to do. I probably just stand there thinking whether you need a hug, do you need water? What should I do with my hands? Having said that, we will display some form of emotions if we're really, really comfortable around you. Anyways, most of the time, our brain don't process emotions as quickly as we would like to. We have a strange detachment with our emotions. Therefore, we may exude a delayed reaction as to how we feel, or more commonly, we don't know how to describe an emotion specifically. Interestingly, this here is probably why we are so drama-free, besides being reserved and really disliking drama anyways. This delayed reaction of inability to pinpoint or name a emotion quickly actually allows us to take time to think things through. So we essentially allow ourselves to have the ability to question our thoughts and feelings. Basically, this allows us to acknowledge and accept why we feel this way or think this way in order to devise a plan of action. Ultimately, we let our brain be the better person of the two. It's just a generic heart versus head kind of situation. It allows us to switch off our emotional side whenever we want, especially in making tough and possibly personal decisions. And it's not just decision making. In general, we're just like this. And this is why we probably say harsh but truthful things where some people can't fathom what we just said. Also, with the brain being in control of my emotional state, you've already put yourself on a positive pedestal because, for example, I remind myself that if I'm irritated or annoyed, I don't necessarily have to focus on that, because if you do focus on this certain emotion, you feed into that energy of being annoyed, which potentially ruins your whole day. So since I have the choice, or you have the choice of picking and choosing on which emotions you focus on, then why not focus on a more positive energy? It really helps for INTJs most of the time to not vocally express feelings and thoughts, because first of all, it doesn't do anyone good. It's not as if the feelings or situation dissipates unless it's something that you must tell someone for beneficial reasons. Secondly, it's not fun to moan or complain to someone. Everyone have their own problem, and I don't want to be someone who adds to their problem or just be another negative aspect to their lives. But most importantly, even if we do divulge a piece of information as to why we're feeling this way, we'll probably end up explaining just one piece of information, which would confuse the hell out of you. But in our mind, there's a web of tangent thoughts and feelings and the reasons that make these aspects important. For me, I've always viewed feelings as an unwelcomed hindrance. I'm sure that some or most INTJs can relate when I say that they have moments in their life where they thought, why am I feeling things? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I thinking about what I feel so much? What is this feeling? And why is it consuming so much of my brain space and time? Why are they so overwhelming and intense? And who is the bugger that is causing this? But you know what? The more that I embrace feelings in general, the less I find them less useless, in the sense that allows me to understand how they influence other people. However, ironically, although I embrace these emotions, there's always a way to process them logically. Now, in regards to emotions and relationships, especially negative emotions in relationship, naturally there will come a time where we feel self-doubt, jealousy, possessiveness, or insecurity. Of course, a lot of people will fear being hurt and fear fragmentation in the connection that they have with someone. And I think of all these videos and advices on the internet saying how to keep your man for life or keep your woman forever. And honestly, self-doubt and insecurity is easy. It's an easy emotion and thought, and anyone can do it. Jealousy is another evil emotion that ruins a lot of relationships, especially when the two people who are in the relationship don't talk to each other about it. But I have a way of solving this issue. So imagine your enemy or the most gorgeous or handsome person that you can think of is standing in front of you. Imagine someone that you think that you may lose your other half to. Now times this person right in front of you by 3 billion. Yes, there's 3 billion of this kind of person, this amazing goddess, godlike, sentient in the whole world. 3 billion. That's a lot, right? But hey, what are you gonna do? Are you going to give up your significant other because you fear that you're gonna lose them along the way? No matter how lovey-dovey you guys are? Or are you going to control them and be possessive, which in return will probably drive them away? Or are you going to just do your best, be yourself, no regrets? With what I just said, it really helps to cut back a lot of drama and helps you to think through your emotion rationally. But most importantly, if you really can't think things through, just talk with this other person. A relationship isn't a relationship if you can't talk to them about anything. I just hope that you have someone who is open-minded enough with this kind of topic. Relationship is trust and communication and teamwork, after all. Above all, if you are struggling and you don't want to talk about things, just be like Yoda. Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. I explained to a friend once that relationship isn't about owning someone, it's about wanting the best for them. As far as emotions go with me, I guess I want to be a person who has faith, because emotions on their own can be so influential and damning to your mentality. So these days, I just remind myself to basically control my mind and to have faith in the universe. Just be your own person and cherish the time that you have with this special someone, because you don't know when it's going to end. And yeah, just do your best. And yes, it is hard to do, just thinking things through or just talking it out with your other half. But it's not impossible, by all means. You just got to be brave. Our heart resembles a 10-year-old because we won't hurt you, and in return, we want to trust that you don't hurt us too. We care for you and we accept you. It's strange to compare our hearts to 10-year-old because it's of that purity level. We are someone that is authentic and innocent in a sense that we don't ever want to hurt you. When INTJs find someone that they care about deeply, it's like we become a weird non-demonic entity. For you, that is. So yeah, it's confusing for INTJs, I guess, to realize this side of us. But it comes out naturally. We're kind of squishy once we trust someone. And there's one thing that I dislike about the INTJ and emotion that is portrayed by the internet, which is there's all these quotes saying, "I like you more than you will ever know." Granted, even I wrote something like this on my blog post, but now I'm like, screw it, why don't you just show it? Seriously. So yeah, embrace your feelings positively, think smartly, and do your best to communicate anything, or just sort it out in your own head. Both is just as good when done right. I mean, for INTJs, they most likely just sort things out in their head. The thing with INTJs not showing fluctuating emotions is because they probably predicted the outcome of something, or they didn't care enough about whatever it is, or INTJs are just so focused on listening to you that they forgot to show appropriate expressions, and they're just intently doing this. No, seriously, I think that INTJs have an issue with being vulnerable. I mean, everyone does, but with us, this vulnerability is confusing, and I guess we're not used to it regarding emotions. And that's why it takes up so much of our time and thoughts. It's good to learn to show appropriate expressions and emotions. For example, before, when I learned something new or interesting from someone, my face just looks like a rock, and it doesn't help the other person to gauge what you're thinking. But now I show my interest and intrigue when I do learn something, and of course this is going to help the other person to gauge where I'm at, and it helps them to feel appreciated, and it gives them a sense of power, and they probably feel pretty epic. Well, the video is finished now, and damn, Spud looks great. I don't want to finish the video now, but I have to. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. So, catch you all later. Bye!